Hey crafters, welcome to Creative Moments by G. Today I'm going to show you how to create a beautiful border. You don't need any machines, no dies, no problem. All you need is stamp, ink, and a little bit of fussy cutting. So let's head down to the crafting table. Let's do this. Let me show you what I mean. Look at this border. We created this border just by stamp, ink, paper, and a little bit of fussy cutting. Can't wait to show you how to make it. You need to go ahead and grab you a portrait card. Now, you can do this landscape, but today we're focusing on portrait. So this is 8.5 by 5.5 scored at 4 1/4. But I want to remind you, all the measurements are going to be written for you at creativemomentsbyg.com, my blog. So the next thing you need to do is go ahead and select what do you want to use as your border. Well, for this first card, we are going to use something you might not think about as a border. Look at this. We're using paper tags because it has this really cute stamp in it. Now, you need to grab you some paper because we're going to stamp and we don't want to get our desk messy. So I'm just going to bring this in just in case it goes over at all. And now I'm going to bring in that stamp. Do you see all the detail that it's going to have? I'm going to use Night of Navy to stamp this, and I'm going to stamp it right here on the edge of our card, the front panel. Now, we really need to load this up with some ink. So tap, tap, tap may not work. I still need to get it just a little more. So I'm just going to have to tap until I get it loaded as much as I want it. Now, I want to go ahead and I'm going to stamp about right here. Now, I want to make sure I have the same distance top to bottom. I'm going to hold that down and let all that rich ink transfer to my card. Now remember, I'm just working on a blank card. I've used some white cardstock. Oh my goodness, look at that. Look at how pretty that's stamped. Now I'm going to go ahead and shut my ink. Now to create this border, it is so easy. I'm going to grab my ruler because I want the line to be straight, and I kind of want it to go about right here at the edge. So I'm just going to line up my ruler at the very top of my card just to make sure it stays straight and put it right there. Now, once I have that, I can see that it's straight. I'm just going to draw a very light line. And this tells me where to cut it. Now, this is so nice because it's just a straight line to cut. So what I want to do is, you can use your trimmer if you want, or you can just grab your scissors and cut up. I'm going to use my wonderful scissors that I love, and I'm just going to cut up straight right here. Now, I'm going to create a little border around this. So we're just going to turn the paper, and I'm going to cut around that image. Now look at the border that it's created. Oh, that is so cute. But we're not done because I want to decorate a little bit here. I already have my sentiment. I also want to put a coordinating color of patterned paper right here just to make it pop. So for my flowers, I'm going to bring in this stamp set, Charming Day. Now, what do we always say? Use what you have. I'm going to open this up, and I'm going to be stamping over this area, and I don't want anything to get on the back. So I'm going to bring in my Post-it removable labeling tape. This is just going to protect it when I go to stamp it. It won't make a mess. And I'm going to stamp it in early espresso. That will not bleed, and it'll just give it that beautiful outline. Not too dark. I'm going to go ahead and stamp it just like this. Look at that. And I'm going to put one right down here. Maybe just some leaves. Oops. I need to go ahead and remove this tape and add it right here. Now this is wonderful tape. You can use it over and over again. Now we're just going to take off this tape. And I'm going to bring in my blends. I have light and dark berry burst, and we have petal pink. I have the light one. So I'm going to go ahead and just flood it with our petal pink on this flower. And I like to flood it and get it nice and wet. This is the easy way to blend. I'm going to bring in the light berry burst. I'm just going to go around the edges. Now, because these are alcohol blends, you can just go over the edges and it will lighten that so that there's not so much difference between the light and the dark, and they'll just blend together. Now, as that evaporates, they're going to blend together. So we're just going to let those evaporate. And now I'm going to work on our leaves. And I'm going to bring in Granny Apple Green and light Old Olive. I'm going to go ahead and use my brush nib so that we can blend really quickly. And I'm just going to flood the area of the leaf with the Old Olive. Okay, and now on my leaves, I'm going to go ahead and bring in the dark Granny Apple Green. And I'm going to use my pencil nib just to go over the edges and the veins. Next, we need to have a little side panel just to make this pop. And I think I'll use this. And so it depends on how much you had to cut away. So you don't really know until you cut this part away exactly what it needs to be. So I can see that this is about a little over 1 1/4. So I'm going to cut this at 1 3/8. Just to give me enough of a strip. Now I need to cut this at 5 1/4. And look at this. Just makes it pop. So let's go ahead and add some glue to this and lay it down. I'm going to make sure I have the same top to bottom and side. And look at this. Now, we could add some more leaves here. We could add some more bling, but you open it up and you have plenty of room to write. Now, on this panel right here, because it bled through, and all good blends will do that, you could go ahead and add this panel just to create a barrier so that you don't see what bled through. You would need to do that. And let me show you a quick way to do that. We're going to go ahead and just lay this down just like this. I'm going to put some glue. Grab my scrap piece of paper. We're going to lay this down just like this. And now we are going to simply cut around it. And here you go. You open it up. You have this side covered so you can't see the bleeding through. And another way to solve that is how we're going to do our next card together. But look at that. Oh my goodness, such a creative border. And you can use any image that you want. We love this design. Are you ready to make a second card with me? Let's do this. Now for this one, I'm going to use a beautiful flower. Like I said once before, you can use whatever you have. But we have this gallery blooms and we just love this flower. Now I went ahead and I cut my portrait card, which is 8.5 by 5.5, scored at 4 1/4. But this time I'm going to color on top of this mat. That way when it bleeds over onto the back, I don't have to worry about it. And that makes it really nice. So let's bring in some paper so we don't get our desktop messy. And I'm going to bring in this flower and I'm going to just stamp it about right here. Now I don't want this stem, so let me show you how we're going to fix that. First off, I'm going to take the ink to the stamp and I'm going to tap, 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 and I'm going to avoid that stem right here. Now, just in case I got it inky at all, I'm going to use that Post-it that I have. I'm going to tear off a little piece and I'm just going to put it right over that area. Now I'm going to take it to my mat and I'm going to stamp it. And look at that, just beautiful. Now I want to stamp another flower, so I'm just going to ink up this top part. And this time I can go ahead and just bring in my ink and just tap it, making sure that I have my flower stamped just like this. And look at that. So pretty, right? I'm going to bring in Melon Mambo, Petal Pink, and then the green to color the leaves. So the green is Old Olive, light and dark. Now to color this flower, I'm going to go ahead and just go over a little bit with some light on it in different areas. And now I'm going to come in with the light with a medium Melon Mambo. And now I'm going to come in with our dark. Now you are certainly welcome to spend more time on your flowers, but I like to do it this way. If I decide I need a little more darkness somewhere, I just bring back in my darker color. And there we have it. I'm going to bring in my Old Olive and I'm going to flood these leaves. Okay, and I'm going to bring in my dark Old Olive and just go over the veins. And look at that, so pretty. And now all we need to do is cut around, and we just need to decide where do we want to cut the flower. And I think I'm going to cut it right there. So I'm just going to cut straight down, just like that. And I'm going to bring in my smaller scissors, and now I'm going to just around the edges, creating the border. Now make sure you stay with us to the end because I have a little secret to share with you if you don't like to fussy cut. Now, what we want to do is go ahead and lay this down. So we're going to glue it down because we need to cut around it. Because see, you don't want to see the back of these flowers because once again it bled through, right? But that's okay. It's absolutely okay. Because it's very easy to cut through one piece of cardstock. Now, if you have trouble with your hands doing fussy cutting like this, make sure you stay with us. Like I said, I have a secret. So all we're going to do right here is just very quickly cut around the flower again. And the reason I did it this way is because cutting through two pieces of cardstock can be quite difficult. So we are just cutting around this, and it's much easier to cut around one piece of cardstock than two. We're following where we cut before. And there we have it. Now all we need to do is bring in a beautiful piece of pattern paper. Now look at this. We're going to put it right there. Let's do that. We're going to make sure we have the same distance top to bottom and the right side. We have this, and now we just need to stamp our sentiment right here. So we're bringing in, so grateful for that heart of yours. We're going to bring in our Knight of Navy. Tap, tap, tap. Now you could put a little flower here if you want. That might be very pretty. I think we'll do that. Once again, we're going to stamp it with our brown. Just using our tape because remember it's a mat and you never know if you want to stamp some more, so we're just stamping this right here. Just to give us a little more color. And now look at our card. Oh my goodness. We created that border. You open it up, you have plenty of room to write. Very different cards. This border was that huge stamped sentiment. So pretty. You could add some bling right here or some more leaves. Now remember I said I was going to show you a secret just in case you don't like to fussy cut. What if you have a card, cut off the front of it, cut out your flowers and just add them over the edge, creating your border? For those of you that don't like to fussy cut, you could do that as well. That's just a little tip. Now, it wouldn't be one solid piece like this, but that's okay, right? It doesn't have to be. Look at this little cutie. I stamped the jars and I just cut around it. This was a very easy image to cut around. Look at that. I added our mats on the inside. Now this particular, I want to show you another little tip. This particular set does not come with those flowers. Look at this. So I wanted to show you the tip on how to use those flowers. This has a punch with it. I punched out the jar, and as you can see, I just grabbed me some flowers, laid it down on the mat, and then I stamped in the jar. That's just a little tip, something else you could do if you have the jars but you don't want to use hearts. What do you think about these creative borders? Oh my goodness. Which one is your favorite? Do you love this? This is so interesting, right? This label. Or maybe these flowers you love, the jars. Or maybe you want to do it where you cut your flowers out and you just add them to the edge of your card. You don't have to fussy cut at all. Take a moment, leave a comment. We hope that you were inspired by this video and that now you have several different ways that you can create unique borders. And so if you were, take a moment please and subscribe to our channel. It just takes a sec. Like and subscribe. And Marty and I hope that you go out and have a fantastic day. And remember, until next time, we're wishing you lots of creative moments. Bye-bye.